In this tutorial, we're going to cover what are the different design team that design and planning team that you need to hire and bring on board. Um, we will use the examples of different drawings that you have in the package that you've received. So I'll go over it to let you know and see what each one of them is going to include, generally what it's going to include. And we'll talk about what are the basic things you will need for an ADU to be developed. Of course, there are other things that we will talk about that might not be basic, and those you will know once you do your feasibility. So again, I'm going to share my screen with you, and while I'm sharing my screen with you, I'll go over the different elements of the design and planning documents, drawings, and calculations that you need to have in place in order to take it and submit it to your local building and planning department. Okay, so generally speaking, most ADUs will need the basic following drawings and calculations in order to submit to your local building and planning department. So the basic ones are going to be architectural drawings, structural engineering drawings and calculations, and energy calculations, which are called Title 24. Okay, I'm going to show a few others over here, but those are the three basic ones that you are going to need. Usually what we would recommend to start with, this is not a requirement. I'm not aware of any city that is requiring 3D renderings for in order to review and approve plans. But we usually do recommend to start by having floor plans and 3D renderings made to your ADU part of the plans. The reason we're recommending to have those, it's going to help you to do two things. First, it's going to help you to visualize how the unit is going to look like and how it's going to be functioning way more better than just having flat. And this is flat. If you look at 3Ds, just for a second, those are 3D renderings that's going to illustrate the unit inside and outside. Okay, with those 3D renderings, you're able to go into details of finishing on the cabinetries, placement of furniture. So you'll be able to know how the area is working with furniture inside it. Again, this is not a must. We do recommend that. So the first thing, like I said, it's recommending to have that something that's going to help you to visualize how the unit is going to look like when it's done. And the second, very important, it's going to help you to communicate with your contractors when you're getting estimates from them for construction. What do I mean by that? Architectural drawings, okay, those. Structural drawings, which are those. And your any other calculations are very general, and they're talking about the structure itself. They're talking about the structure, how it needs to be built, what needs to be put where in terms of foundation, framing, roofing, electrical, plumbing, windows, etc. But it doesn't talk about the things that are very specific to what you're looking to do, meaning it doesn't speak about type of cabinetries and type of floors and windows and what is the overall look you're trying to achieve. When you have those 3D and renderings in place, it's going to help you with communicating with your contractor, communicating with them when you're getting estimates. There's not going to be, let me rephrase it, you're going to minimize your questions during construction in terms of what needs to be done on finishing, and it's going to eliminate the unknown of, oh, I didn't know that you're expecting to have this or that. So that's why we're recommending to have those 3D renderings and elevations for interior and exterior. The second type of plans you're going to need, actually the first one that you're going to need that is a must-have, is your architectural plans. Okay, now the architectural plans are going to include in it some basic information that the city needs in order to review your project. The first one is called a title sheet, TS. You can see the sheet name over here. A title sheet is going to provide the codes and notes and the information for the whoever is designing and planning the project summary. What are you planning to do? What is the scope of the project? The next sheet is going to include your existing and proposed floor plans. Okay, meaning what are you planning to build exactly? It's going to show the exact floor plans of the unit itself. It's going to show windows, schedules, door schedules, meaning the size and of doors and windows. If I'll zoom in over here a little bit. By the way, you have all those you have in your packet. Just make sure to open it and review it as well. Okay, it's going to show different ventilation information. Let's zoom in again. Barriers, exterior finishes. For this one, for example, it has a plywood. It has roof notes, size of windows, size of doors, smoke detectors, electrical symbols showing you, where to have. We're going to have your different electrical items. Let's go back over here, and you're going to have elevations and sections. Okay, over here you can see the section of the structure. Over here, another section of the structure. Over here, the proposed roof details and connections. Over here, and this is the elevations of the structure itself. Okay, as you can see, this one is finished with wood and some stone, and you have general notes. Okay, that is the basic architectural drawings that you're going to need. Of course, it's also going to be supplemented with a site map, and a site map, we talked about it before, how it needs to be done. That's a different part. Now, next one is your structural engineer. On your structural engineer, the main things that's going to be focused are going to be your roof framing, floor framing, foundation plan. Okay, this is basically going to give the instructions to the contractor what type of foundation, how deep it's going to be, how wide it's going to be, what type of concrete to use, what type of metal it's going to use. Same thing on the framing, what type of wood, size of wood, spacing, what type of hardware to connect the different walls to the roof, to the foundation, and so forth. So this is your structural engineering drawings and details. Okay, those are all the details that gives your contractor the information of what he needs to use. This, look at it, this is like the manual to build. Okay, that's your second requirement that the city would want to see. The next one that is a must that a city would want to see is your energy calculations, what's called Title 24. Okay, let me zoom in here a little bit and I'll show you what exactly it's going to include. Okay, 1 second. There we go. Okay, so it's going to show, let's see here, 1 second. This is the analysis over here. It's going to show the type of the project, residential building. It's going to show here what type of insulation, R15 for the wall, for example, R13 for the attic. It's going to show what type of a HVAC system you're going to need to have and the size of it. Again, over here, this is for the HVAC. Okay, so for this one, again, you will need those calculations that will be submitted so the city can review and approve your project. This is a summary of everything. It's going to show you the type of insulation and the square footage for wood, for the walls, for the ceiling, the attic, for this is the what is it? Just a second. Oh, okay, those are the shades. Furnace. This is an HVAC that is ductless, mini split, and so forth. Okay, so this is your energy calculation that you're going to need to have. Now, in some units that are going to be, and in some areas, not in all areas, some areas, you're going to need to have additional drawings and calculations. I can tell you that some cities, some locations might going to ask for land survey, and like I said, once you're going to do your feasibility, you'll know if you need a land survey, so you need to have a land survey done. If you're going to need a soil engineer, then you know that you need a soil engineer. But I can tell you that, for example, all of LA area, when you are going with a unit that's going to be 500 square foot and above, there is a requirement for a plan that is called low impact development, which is basically a system to collect rainwater from your roof lines into a system that's going to collect it and prevent flooding your property, neighbor's property, and the street. It can be done either in a planter or rain barrels. Okay, and it's another type of design, drawings, and calculations that you're going to need to have in place. And this is the system itself. Okay, it's going to show, for example, this is the unit that is being added. That's existing. Okay, that's the addition over here. And then it's going to show the roof lines and the calculations. And then it's going to show the type of the system, the size that you're going to need, that needs to be installed. So that's another drawing and calculation that needs to be done for units over 500 square feet when you need to have a stormwater system, which is called LID plan. Now, you do want to make sure that the design team that you're hiring, whether you're hiring a design that is doing everything in one place, that they're covering those costs, the basic cost at least, and of architectural, structure, and Title 24, and if there's any additional needs based on your feasibility, cover those as well. And you want to price those to make sure that everything is covered. Once you have that information, you want to use the Excel spreadsheet over here. And again, you have this Excel spreadsheet with all the package that you've received, and you want to start putting in information for the different costs for the different elements of your design and planning. Site map, land survey if needed, soil engineer if needed, design in 3D if you decided to have it, architectural plans, you need it, structural engineer, you're going to need it, stormwater drainage system if you need it, this is the LID, Title 24 energy calculations, you're going to need it. Now, plumbing engineer, electrical engineer, and mechanical engineer, in most cases, you don't need it, but confirm during your feasibility, you will know if you're going to need those. Most design firms you're going to work with are going to be able to recommend you to those three engineers if needed, and even to those two if needed, but again, only if you need, make sure if you do, have those priced as well, and of course your permit expedite. Once you're going to put those costs over here, you want to go back to your development budget Excel spreadsheet, to the tab where it's going to say development budget, and update the cost of your design and planning, land survey, soil engineer, and so forth. Okay, so you can have a better understanding of your cost. Okay, now I'm going to go and start showing you how you can use pre-made designs and plans in case you choose to have it. So on the guidebook, do mention that you have the option to purchase pre-made designs and pre-made plans. One thing to understand and one thing to know about pre-made designs and pre-made plans. Those are not a complete set of plans that you can just take and submit to the city. Those will still need to be supplemented with additional details and information, and in some cases calculations that will meet your local building and planning department. So make sure that you are aware of those and know exactly what needs to be added and supplemented to those, so you can actually take it and submit to your building and planning department. Now I'm going to go over and show you our website. By the way, I just want to disclose it, and it says so also on our guidebook, of pre-made designs and plans that we're offering, that you can browse and see if there's anything that you can use over here, and I'll explain exactly how you can use those. So there are two types of plans. There's construction plans and there's design plans. Okay, and let's start with the design plans. Design plans are basically going to be concept designs of ADUs that are going to be provided to you in a PDF and DWG file. DWG file is a professional file that you can use with a professional design and planning software. But those files are basically concept designs. They are not construction plans, they're not architectural drawings, they're concept designs that gonna show you floor plans, footprint, elevations, 3D elevations of the unit, and that you can mainly use those to do a few things. You can use those to see how it's fitting and working with your property, of course, once you have your feasibility done, because it's going to show you, and you see here on different ones, it's going to show you the footprint of the unit, so you'll be able to see how those units are going to fit on your property, if they're fitting. Okay, and it's going to show you how the unit is going to look like. So that's one thing it can help you to, if you want to use one of those. And it can also help you to get general understanding of general cost for getting your additional documents. You can get estimates from those for the cost of creating architectural plans, structural engineering plans, energy calculations, and any additional drawings that needs to be done that can be completed from those specific designs over here. Okay, so that's one type. I would not recommend to use those as a guideline and start to get estimates from contractors. If anything, you can use those to get ballpark cost, general cost, not exact cost. The different type of plans that you can purchase are called construction plans. Those are architectural drawings. With those, you're going to get an actual PDF or a CAD file. Again, CAD file is the professional file. Those are the architectural plans, meaning, if I'll go back over here, okay, those are going to be this type. It's the architectural plans, okay? And the design plans, by the way, are going to be those kind of plans, okay? So the architectural plans are going to be this type of plans. It's going to show the floor plans, windows and door schedules, sections, elevations, and any additional notes. Basically, it's a set of plans that from here, with this one actually, you can complete the rest of your engineering calculations in Title 24 and submit to your local building and planning department. So that's the second one that you can find over here on our website. I know that there's other websites, and I did put it on our guidebook. There's other websites that are selling similar plans and similar concept plans that you can go and search and see if there's anything that you can use. Important to understand, those are for new structures, new detached units. You cannot use those to convert a garage. You can use it as a concept to get the understanding of what it's going to, help you to see how a garage is going to be completed, but you cannot use those for existing structures. Existing structures need to be done and addressed differently, because you need to take the exact measurements of that structure and design it from there. So again, those are for new detached units. And that's it on this specific subject. I'll go back and have a conclusion for this specific tutorial, and we'll take it from there. Okay, so now that you understand what are the different designs and plans that you're going to need, it's important that you will make sure you have all the right professionals that can do all those different design and plans in place. If you're planning to break it into pieces and get it done yourself, you can definitely use a drafter to do your architectural drawings. You can definitely use a designer to do your 3D designs. You can definitely purchase those pre-made ones if you want to purchase those. But for when it comes to structural engineering, you cannot, you need to hire a licensed engineer that will do that and do those foundation and framing drawings and calculations. If you need to do Title 24, you can hire and search a company that does it online for you as well. They will just need the architectural drawings and the site map from you, so they can do those. But again, make sure you have the right professionals to work with. I would always recommend to make sure there is a team that has done it before, knows how to do it. They have experience with doing those specific units, especially when it's ADUs. You want to have a team that knows how to deal with small spaces. It's you want to utilize the space as much as you can, and once you have all those in place, you are ready basically to submit to the city and get your permit process started. And we'll talk about that in the next video, about what to expect during your plan submission to the city.